the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament, all the members of the delegations which are here. When I met the presidents quietly there, I just mentioned 2 points to them, or maybe 3 points. The first point is that I have been a close observer or a participant for the last 65 years as far as the politics of Uganda is concerned. I told them that I joined the DP in 1960, and I was a very active youth leader of DP. Then I joined the UPC for 5 months. In 1970, but by 1965, we had started forming study groups in the universities, which were the precursors of what is now NRM. Now, in all that time, my observations are 2. Number 1 is that politics must be like medicine. A political leader should be like a doctor. A doctor looking at patients. And this doctor will only help those patients if he makes a correct diagnosis of what the patients are suffering from. If he makes a wrong diagnosis and makes a wrong prescription, the patients will not get cured. They may even die. When it comes to society, it is the same process. You either identify the problems of the society correctly and apply correct answers, or you will not give them a solution. And that's why the NRM has identified the 4 principles which we keep talking about: patriotism, love Uganda. Why? Because you need it for your own good. Secondly, Pan-Africanism, love Africa. Why? Because you need it for your own good. I don't have time to go into the details, but we have explained this elsewhere. Thirdly, socio-economic transformation. We cannot go on with the pre-capitalist societies, traditional societies, and we think that we shall manage to survive in the future. And finally, democracy. We think with these 4, we shall succeed, and we have been able to move, as we have seen. In the last 40 years almost, the NRM has been able to revive the economy of Uganda, and although we have still problems, but we are much stronger than we had ever been before. So that's the number 1. Correct understanding of the society. But secondly, if you have a different understanding, at least don't be violent. Don't use violence. Don't use subversion. Like the members here were saying, yes, they have got their different points of view, but let them express them peacefully, and then we see whether we agree or disagree. Now, when you have got a right understanding and you act right, then things will move. The country will be peaceful. But even if you have got a wrong understanding, but you are not violent. You don't act wrongly. Yes, you will make mistakes, but the country will remain stable, and in the future, those mistakes will be understood and corrected. Now, the disaster in Africa is that people have got wrong understanding, but also use wrong methods. They are wrong on all accounts. They don't understand correctly, and they act wrongly, using wrong tactics, violence, subversion, cheating. This is the crisis you get in these countries. This is why Uganda here was in chaos. I don't have time to go into all that. And IPOD is not a center for parties try to justify themselves. We shall have time for that. But because of all those mistakes, that's why you get chaos in Africa. Because even if you make a mistake, but if the country remains peaceful, in the future it will be corrected, and you will have where to start from. But when you are wrong understanding, wrong methods, that's how you get this total breakdown like we have seen in so many of the countries. Now coming to my son, JEEMA, about the teachers, I don't want to be, I'm chairperson of the airport, I don't want to go into that debate. But it could be why UPC had problems, because they don't prioritize well. They try to do this, then the other way. The teachers, if we have money, we would pay all of them well at the very beginning. But if we don't have enough money, why don't we start with the ones that are fewer, but also are very much required the stage where we are? Because you see, we had a problem in Soloti Flying School. It was about to close because of the wrong thinking of, if we all don't get the same, nobody should get. Now, in Soloti Flying School, we needed most pilots and engineers of the aircrafts. But they didn't have money to pay all of them well. So, the school was about to close. When I went there, I found out that a pilot in a private airline gets 25 million shillings. A pilot gets 25 million shillings. Now here in Soloti Flying School, they were trying to pay a pilot 1 million, because that's what they could afford. And also pay the secretary, the typist, the same amount of money, pay the cleaner, pay what, wanting to pay everybody. Then I said about you people, the one we need most badly are pilots and engineers. The secretaries can be paid well later. If you have got money to pay all of them well, good. But if you don't have, what do you do? Should the flying school close? Because either we all get or nobody gets. That logic is not correct. We freedom fighters, we always prioritize. Kamukamugo echi, akwati mpola akola chi, bugubugusichi, a chair is what? One by one.
One by one makes a bundle.
Yes. So, when I advised them, they agreed to pay the pilots well. And they are not very many, because the pilots were few. And then the engineers. Now, the other people, the cleaners, the what, those can come later. But now they are trying, we are all working in Solid Flying School, we must all get equal. Yes, but we need pilots more than the cleaners. So that now that we are repairing the economy, we need engineers on the roads. We need doctors, very badly. We need chemists. Unfortunately, the scientists are not so many. They are not so many. So we can pay them, and then later we shall add on the other group. But I didn't want to go into that debate, because we came here for unity, not for arguing. So, with these few words, I want to thank the iPod for having trusted us, NRM, for the last 5 years with the leadership. I now peacefully hand over to Mao.
Mr. President, we have to give you the flag to hand over to Chairman Mao. Officially, the flag for iPod. If we can get the flag for iPod, so that it's handed over to Chairman Mao.
Very good.
The flag. There shall be other formal handovers that will follow with the Secretary Generals and other members of iPod. We agreed that this leadership of the positions is rotational. After DP, it will be another political party.
I am here to witness a peaceful handover of power.
As the NRM hands over to DP, may we all rise and give a big round of applause to the National Chairman of NRM for chairing iPod for a very long time. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for handing over.